Good evening. Welcome to our Wednesday night meditation Sangha. Welcome to our live streamers joining us. You'll notice we've relocated this evening. We're in the chapel temporarily for our Sangha tonight. So another opportunity for mindfulness in this other sacred space that we have on campus, that we get to experience the beautiful energy of. And so we're going to transition from our day, from the busyness of our work day or whatever occupied your time today, to transition into our Sangha with a time of crystal bowls. We have Ollie Perry as our musician tonight. Thank you for being here, Ollie. So I invite you to relax and to allow yourself to release the day as you take in the vibration of the bowls. Thank you, Holly. And so now we'll prepare for our time of sitting practice. We'll sit for 25 minutes. There'll be some light guidance to support you. I'll ring our mindfulness bowl to begin, and so as you hear the sound of the bowl, just continue to notice how you are receiving the vibration and be mindful of the sound as it rises and falls. I invite you, if you haven't done so already, to let your eyes close gently, or if you prefer, you can leave them slightly open with a soft, receptive gaze. It's recommended for this practice to sit upright, to remain alert, but also relaxed. So it's ideal if you can sit a little forward in your chair rather than leaning against the back, having your arms and legs uncrossed, feeling your feet grounded, feeling the support of the floor, the earth beneath you. Allowing your hands to rest on your knees or on your lap, just allowing your hands to rest easily. If you are feeling the need to be more grounded, you may prefer to put your hands palms down, or if you would like to be in a more receptive position, you could have your palms up. And take a full and deep breath. Release it slowly. Another full and deep breath. And as you let go, you can feel the sensations of breath as they move through your nostrils, your throat, your chest. Allow your breath now to return to its natural rhythm. Feeling ease in the breath. And feeling your body sitting. You have a body. Your body is sitting. Noticing breathing. Noticing the beginning, the middle, and the end of the breath. And as you remain mindful of your breathing, simply notice any sounds that arise in the space, knowing that it's simply hearing, simply sounds that are rising and falling. It's noting it as hearing. Allowing the sounds to be as they are. Allowing the breath to be as it is. If you find your mind has wandered off into a story or some line of thinking, simply bring it back to the breath. Like training a puppy, just going back again and again to the breath. In this simple presence, notice without judgment the state of your body now. Warm or cool, tension or ease. Letting mindfulness hold it all. becoming present in the midst of whatever is going on for you, whatever the state of your mind and heart, allowing it to be just as it is. Whether it is active or quiet, joyful or sad, whatever is showing up. Bringing your awareness to it in a spacious and kind way. Fully present to your experience as you sit. Relaxing and being present with what is. And allowing. If you notice you've gotten caught up in thinking, simply return your attention to the breath. and relax into the practice of mindfulness. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Simply be aware that you are here, present in this moment. Notice how each breath is different. Be present to this breath, this moment. As we come towards the end of our sitting practice, be present to the body, be present to the breath, and feel the benefit of your presence. And know that this experience of being present and allowing is always available to you, and you can return to it again and again. So the sound of the bowl will close this practice. If you haven't done so, bring your attention to this space. And as I share the teaching this evening, I'm going to be continuing to share with you these teachings from my meditation teacher, Robert Brummett. They're being offered to you in a kind of progressive manner from week to week. So each week we will be building on the topic to support you in your practice. And this week I'll be sharing about the nature of spiritual practice. So I invite you to really listen with your whole body as I share this teaching, and then we'll have a time later for discussion and sharing. And so as you engage in spiritual practice, know we know that there are a great many spiritual practices that are available to us, and it can be helpful to understand the general distinctions of spiritual practice. So if you speak to someone who is in the Western part of the world about their religion, if they have one, most likely they'll share with you about their beliefs, their worship, their rituals, and sacraments that are involved in their religious observance. However, if you speak to someone who is practicing a traditionally Eastern spiritual practice, it's more likely that they're going to be sharing with you about their spiritual practice, their yoga, rather than about their beliefs or rituals. And yoga literally means yoke, to take on a particular spiritual practice or discipline. And while the essence of much of Western religion is to achieve salvation after death, the essence of spiritual practice is cultivating one's consciousness. What's interesting is that deeply embedded in the Western psyche is the assumption that humans are spiritually and perhaps even psychologically broken, flawed, incomplete. Therefore, many religious approaches focus on a need for redemption. This assumption is so deeply embedded in the Western psyche that even those who claim no religious affiliation are impacted by this. And due to the psychological nature of this issue, many people turn to psychotherapy to heal this sense of brokenness or insufficiency. And while psychotherapy can help, it cannot heal the deepest of our wounds. And with the intention to heal this internal sense of deficiency and brokenness, many people engage in some form of Eastern spiritual practice, meditation usually. And they see this as a possible remedy for the deep pain of depression, anxiety, or emptiness that they feel. And meditation can be helpful. However, as long as a person's motivation is to fix something that is broken, their progress will be limited. The key to effective spiritual practice is to approach your practice from what the Buddhists call right understanding or right motivation. And the way that they use this word right can be interpreted as wise or skillful, wise understanding, skillful motivation. Approaching your spiritual practice with right understanding and right motivation can perhaps be illustrated through the story of Michelangelo's process for transforming a marble block into his masterpiece sculpture called David. Someone asked him, how did you create that magnificent sculpture of David? And it said that he replied that it's quite simple. I bought a block of marble and I chiseled away everything that wasn't David. And so he held a vision that David already existed within the stone block, and then he removed anything that wasn't part of that vision. And spiritual practice is much like that. We begin with the understanding as we sit that we are resting in our deepest truth. We are resting as the Buddha or as the Christ. And we realize that our true nature is a here and now reality, that what will arise in our spiritual practice when we sit in that truth, when we sit as our true nature, the Buddha or the Christ, is any internal resistance that we may have that blocks our experience, our conscious experience of this deepest truth. We may not have realized that we've been carrying resistance to this truth because it may have been hidden from our consciousness until we uncovered it in our spiritual practice. And so how do we face this resistance as it shows up as we sit in our practice? So quite simply, we continue to keep engaging in the practice. We meet this resistance as the Buddha or as the Christ would. We meet it with non-resistance, with clarity, and with awareness. And we let go of judgment, we let go of interpretation or analysis. As we recognize resistance consciously and we meet it with non-resistance, the resistance begins to dissolve. Whatever arises as we sit, fear or shame or guilt, judgment, meet it with an open mind and heart and no reactivity. Through this practice, eventually, all forms of resistance dissolve. We don't have to agree with the story or the narrative that may show up as part of the resistance. So whatever criticism or victim story might be showing up as you experience that resistance, but we don't argue with it either. The practice is simply to allow what is to be what it is. As the great mystics, the Beatles said, let it be. Got my Let It Be shirt on tonight. So we let it be what it is without adding anything to it. And the ways we experience resistance are in the forms of bodily sensations that can show up, emotions that can arise, and thoughts. And we want to meet them without attachment and identification or resistance, just noticing them. Often we say in unity, it's not enough to know or believe or understand a spiritual truth. It's a good place to start. However, transformation only occurs when we engage consistently in some form of spiritual practice. And so having good directions can be helpful, but only if one goes forward and takes the spiritual journey and engages in the practice. Namaste. And so now we will have our practice of receiving. So I'm going to pass this over to Reverend Curdy, who is joining us tonight.
Welcome, and thank you. Thank you for the divine wisdom. I know that when I have meditation in my life, it seems to go quite a bit smoother. And so now is an opportunity to give for the many things that we may receive and do receive often in this spiritual community. And so there's many ways to give online, through our web, through text. One of the few times we can bring out our phone in center, and then we also have a basket coming around. And so this is an opportunity. And before we begin, I just want to just resonate with the offertory prayer, that it says divine love. It starts out, divine love as me. And that is each of you. And we appreciate you here, and we're so grateful for your tithes and your offerings and your time. And so together, if we would say the offertory prayer, divine love at me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. And so it is. And we have also a few great things happening at Unity of Houston. The first is we have a new member retreat, and so this is an opportunity to spend some time with Reverend Jeanmarie from 9 to 3. There's still openings and opportunities to register online. They will be meeting in the pyramid. And okay, we'll be here. We also have the ongoing metaphysical Bible study It will be this Sunday, 10 to 10:50 in the Art Gallery. And then, pardon? Art Gallery, yeah. And then on our Sunday service, we will have Reverend Jeanmarie speaking to us on the path of release. And this is a series on from Matthew Fox on his book Original Blessing. And so we look forward to that. And then you can meet us here again Wednesday night, The Power of Intention with Reverend Jeanmarie. And so you are a blessing. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your presence and your prayer. And Reverend Curdy is often our prayer chaplain on Wednesday night, so she's available to pray with you if you would like prayer after our Sangha. And so now we get to say goodnight to our live streamers. Thank you for joining with us, meditating with us, and sharing your practice with us. We're going to have a time of sharing here in our Sangha. So we invite you, if you are local or visiting, we invite you to come and join in the conversation when you can be here in person. And so we all wish you good night and namaste.